Business class flying. A lavish experience for the privileged few who can spend $15,000 just to make a few more hours a little bit more comfortable. Wait, $15,000? Is that how much it is? Holy! I feel like this outfit fits the price tag just a little bit better. Just a little bit. Sometimes the common folk get lucky and we can upgrade our boring economy seats to the unforgettable business class experience using nothing but a few measly rewards points. And that's exactly what I did. So join me on my journey from Sydney to LA on the Airbus A380, the world's largest two-story commercial airplane. But I won't be wearing this. You know, I'm a business class flyer, but I'm not that pretentious. To start off with, we flew from Perth to Sydney, and once we were in Sydney, we were guests at the Qantas Business Lounge. I had this delectable pumpkin salad, some tuna, hummus and crackers, as well as a chocolate cake and cheese. When we got to the gate, we were boarding group numero uno. So they took me through an extra security check, and the guy got me to take off my shoes, and then he let me go. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even sure if he actually did any checks on me, but he went through my bag, I took off my shoes, and the second he got one whiff of that, he was like, yeah, nah, I'm out. You can leave, you're all good. Just don't take your shoes off on that plane. And once we were on the plane and we got to our seats, we were flabbergasted because damn, this was nice. We've got so much going on here, so let me take you through a tour of our seat. The first thing I noticed is how big it is. I'm 6'2", and once I sat down, there was legroom to spare. Which is insane, because if you're taller than 5'10", you would know how precious of a commodity legroom is. And I mean, if you're shorter than 5'10", I've got two very good legs that I would just love to trade with you. I mean, surgically and permanently, it would be amazing. I do not have enough Qantas points to upgrade every single flight I take. I cannot go back to having no leg room. As everyone settled in before takeoff, I heard the flight attendant come around to everyone else and ask if they wanted the smaller or larger size of pajamas. So when a flight attendant came to me, I assumed that's what I would be asked. But instead, I was just handed the extra large pajamas. I don't like what that guy was saying. I mean, look, he wasn't wrong. That's the size I would have asked for, but I don't like what he was implying. Literally the second I got here, before I could even sit down, he was like, here's your pajamas, sir. And they gave me pajamas? I mean, I got a pillow, I got everything here. Oh, and a blanket and a quilt. As we were the first group to board, we had some extra time to fill in our menus. There was a whole range of options for breakfast and 3 dinner options that we could choose from, and all we had to do is fill in the bubble. The thing is, Mum and I didn't know how many bubbles you could fill in, so I kind of just ticked everything that I thought would be nice to have in the morning for breakfast, and then I look over to Mum, and all she had circled was yogurt. That was it, nothing else. So I took the liberty of leaning over and ticking everything I might want a second course of. And I'm starting to see why that guy gave me the extra large pajamas. And for some of the options like desserts and sides, they kind of just didn't have a bubble next to them, so Mum and I just assumed that we'd choose them as the trolley came around. And as we took off into the sky, Mum and I cheersed to our 15-hour flight. It was pretty smooth sailing out of Sydney, and as the seatbelt sign turned off, I took a look around our seat, and we had a water bottle and water bottle holder, a set of noise-cancelling headphones, a TV remote, a reading light, a very large TV, and a seat remote built into the side of the seat. It had options like projectile vomiting airplane while slightly reclined, normal slightly reclined, Saddam Hussein hiding place, and body Wi-Fi mode? Nope. It's a seat massager. It felt less like a massage and more like my seat was pulsating on my lower back. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I'm sure some people would have liked it. There was also an amenities bag that had earplugs, hand cream, a dental kit, and a sleep mask. And we also had a little wall between the seats so that when we wanted to chat, we could just pop that little guy down. I pressed play on the first movie, which was John Mulaney's Kid Gorgeous, and very quickly they came around with juice and assorted nuts. Now that's low-hanging fruit, I don't need to make that joke. I then headed to the bathroom where I tried on the pajamas, and they were actually super comfy. Mum and I only put the t-shirt on for the pajamas. I didn't put the pants on because, you know, my pants were pretty comfy. Mum didn't put the pajama pants on because she dropped hers in the toilet. And naturally, she was too embarrassed to admit that to a flight attendant and ask for a new pair. So she just had her jeans on. Also, I took a very glamorous dump, which I obviously didn't film, but the toilets were really clean. They regularly cleaned them throughout the flight. The toilet seats were leather and cushioned and also like really evenly heated, which I found really nice. I mean, like the first time I went, they weren't heated, but the second time I went in the flight, they were heated. Oh no. Once I got back to my chair, I put on my next movie, which was Baby Driver, and they gave me a tablecloth. What? They set a tablecloth up before they actually gave me my dinner on a silver platter. I had soup, some salad, some bread, and a hefty portion of butter, and some very nice water. But that was just entree. Then came the mains, which was this nice tomato spaghetti, and it was really nice, but I kind of regret not getting the steak, because Mum got the steak, and that was just top notch. And then they brought around the ice cream sandwiches. Call me George Sr., because I could not get enough of those ice cream sandwiches.
I am having a love affair with this ice cream sandwich. You want some? You want to take a bite?
Please.
Take a bite.
Please.
Once I finished enjoying that, it was like midnight Sydney time, so I was ready to fall asleep. So I lowered my chair into a bed, and this was insane because I was fully in a flat position, fully reclined, laying in a bed, and I still had leg room to spare. So I popped some music on in my playlist, and I drifted off to sleep. After an amazing sleep, the light slowly turned on through the cabin and it sort of simulated like a pink sunrise and it was like really peaceful as everyone was waking up. A flight attendant came around and asked me if I wanted my breakfast now or in like 10-15 minutes. And then she set me up with a tablecloth and delivered me my breakfast. I was looking around at the other people, and as they were waking up, flight attendants were coming to them. So it wasn't a situation where the trolley was coming down the line, and if you don't wake up before the trolley gets to you, you don't get breakfast. It was like they were specifically waiting for you to wake up so that they could give you your breakfast as you were opening your eyes. For breakfast, I had a croissant, a Vegemite crumpet, and a fruit salad. Mum didn't want to eat my lights died. I guess that one's just staying off. And Mum didn't want the extra food that I ticked off on her menu, so the stretchiness of those QANTAS pajamas really helped out. Over brekkie, I watched Howl's Moving Castle for the first time, and I spent quite a bit of time trying to fix my hair. Yeah, it really wasn't working out for me that morning. And I spent the rest of the flight playing Pokken Tournament and listening to some music. Speaking of, hello. Welcome to the Entertainment Corner with special guest, Remy. On this flight, I listened to 4 albums, watched a comedy special, and watched 3 movies. Starting with the movies, John Mulaney's Kid Gorgeous is just funnier every single time I watch it. It's probably my 3rd time watching it now, and all the jokes still land. Mulaney has to be one of my favorite stand-up comics ever because it's just the way he talks is so funny.
I just got a letter from my college, which was fun, because mail, you know?
But if you just want a quick 5-minute laugh, his What's New Pussycat bit on the Comedy Central YouTube channel is so funny. Just give it a watch. It's just hilarious. Next up is Baby Driver. I've seen this movie around a whole bunch, but never actually watched it, and it definitely lived up to the hype. It's about this kid who's a getaway driver doing one final job, which in heist movies always works out perfectly fine. 8 out of 10, definitely would recommend, but the ending just falls flat on its face. The rest of the film is so good, and then the ending is just, I guess the ending happened kind of thing.
Doc said Michael Myers.
This is Mike Myers.
It should be the Halloween mask.
This is a Halloween mask.
No, the killer dude from Halloween.
Oh, you mean Jason?
Next movie I watched while I was trying to fall asleep, and it's Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm an avid listener of Queen, but I don't really know the history of the band all that much. So it was really interesting to hear about Freddie Mercury's life and his relationship with his bandmates and family. I'd seen a lot of reviews just criticizing the film in its entirety, but I enjoyed it because I was learning all these things about the band. Though watching these reviews, I'm realizing that all those facts aren't 100% true. Howl's Moving Castle, on the other hand, boy! Duh! All Studio Ghibli films have been on my radar for quite a while now because they're just so amazing. I haven't managed to watch any of them apart from Howl's Moving Castle now, and I cannot stop thinking about this movie. It's just so good. The background of war was an unexpected surprise, especially when it becomes like a real danger for Sophie and her family. but it just enhances the film and adds stakes to her removing the curse. As you'll hear every single film reviewer say, every frame in this movie is spot on and could be framed and put up in an art gallery. It's amazing, 9 out of 10. Overall, a pretty solid lineup of films, but I also listened to a couple albums. I'll keep this segment short, but In Case I Make It by Will Wood, amazing album. Counterfeit Arcade by Schaefer James with Villainous Thing and Weight of the World as 2 standout songs on that album. After watching the film, I listened to Queen's A Night at the Opera because all of the songs were just stuck in my head, as well as Piano Man by Billy Joel, which I've been learning on the piano recently. Oh, okay, I just felt a bit of turbulence. I should probably head back to my seat. The seatbelt sign was turned back on, and as I do every time I take off and land in a flight, I listen to Memento Mori by Will Wood, and we smoothly landed in Los Angeles. But with that, my business class experience was over. But every night when I drift off to sleep, I'll be feeling the warm hug of the business class cabin. What? You think I wouldn't take the pajamas? Watch this video, it's a good one. Trust me, it's a good one. It's a good video. Trust me, I'm wearing nice pajamas, I would know.